next to. It's totally gonna be fine. Alright, so while we're waiting to head on in, up above you, we have an animal spotting guide. It has a list of all the animals we may or may not see out here today. Cannot guarantee we're gonna see all of them, but I'm hopeful we can knock a good chunk off of that list. Alright, so as we're beginning our safari today, we're gonna be here in the Little Ituri Forest. Home to a lot more shy, more reclusive animals in Africa that just love to use all this thick vegetation here as their main form of protection. So be on the lookout, they can be pretty tricky to spot some maybe and they're just super shy.
Look at that. Emoy.
Looks like someone is not so shy today. So over on our right, there's a couple pairs of black and white striped party pants out there. Now those zebra-looking legs, they belong to the okapi. A lot of people kind of describe them as maybe a cross between a zebra and a horse of some sort. The okapi is actually the closest living relative to the giraffe. We're gonna know this because of their prehensile tongue and the shape of their skull. That prehensile tongue is just a really fancy way of saying that their tongue is super strong and super long. They use it just like a giraffe would to wrap around branches, pulling out the leaves and cleaning out their eyes as a nose. Alright, so one really cool bird out here is off to our left. That is a saddle-billed stork right there, that big black and white one. They stand at 5 feet tall with a wingspan of 9 feet. That's side to side the canopy. Up above you if you wanted a quick comparison for that. Alright, now they are going to get their name from the saddle-bill design at the top of their beak. Now it's super duper easy to tell the males and females apart. Just look at their eyes. Female saddle-billed storks are going to have these big, bright yellow eyes, while the males are actually kind of a dark brown, almost black color. The really interesting thing about them is they do mate for life. Alright, so hopefully we can maybe see some more animals hanging out here in the Little Ituri. Sometimes it's really hit or miss with them, just get super shy. It is also kind of late for some of these animals. Some of them like to head a little bit early tonight. Looks like that might be it for Little Ituri. Alright, so we are going to start headed over to the river now. Over in the Safi River, it's a lot more aquatic animals of Africa. Water's usually pretty crystal clear. If you're going to look anywhere, I definitely suggest looking at the bottom of the river. You could see someone running around down there. Alrighty, so first up, if you look to the corner of the water, it looks like a little blob there, but that is actually a Nile hippo under the water. It's in a very far corner on the right over there by that wall. Now they're mostly pure muscle weighing in at 4.5 tons, so rather than swimming in the river, they were going to run and jog on the bottom. Alright, now there's also these pink-backed pelicans out here. They're pink year-round, but as mating season gets closer, the colors on their back is just a little bit brighter. Might be like a little blush if you think about it. Alright, now if you haven't seen those hippos yet, there are some more on our left. They're pretty social. They're called a bloat when they're all together like that. Alright, now Nile hippos, they really don't love to leave the river. They only really leave it when they're looking for food. Well, venture towards 6 miles to find that. They are herbivores and mostly going to eat grasses and aquatic plants. They eat 85 pounds on a daily basis. Now, a really interesting thing about them is they can hold their breath for up to 8 minutes at a time, and they can sleep underwater. When they're sleeping underneath the water, their bodies will just naturally float themselves up to the surface, they'll get some air, and then they just sink back down. They do that under every 8 minutes or so.
Vulture right there. Vulture!
Now we are coming up to what we here in the reserve like to call Croc Bridge. You're going to find a lot of Nile crocodiles off to the left.
Crocodile.
Now, the Nile crocodile is the largest crocodilian species in Africa, weighing in at 500 pounds. They can grow to be between 16 all the way up to 20 feet. It's about the same length as a giraffe is tall. Now, they can eat as much as half of their body weight in one single sitting. They're mostly going to eat fish, but they're not picky eaters. They'll take whatever they can get. Nile crocodiles are very opportunistic hunters. They have one of the strongest bite forces in the animal kingdom. It's 2,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. But when they want to, they can still be really gentle. After they lay their eggs, both the mothers and fathers will take turns rolling them around within their teeth. That's going to help soften the shells of their eggs to be almost effortless for them to eventually hatch. so we're gonna come up to the baobab tree here. It's gonna be on the right. Now, a baobab tree that size is estimated to be 2,000 years old. It has a really cool nickname. It's called the Tree of Life. It can hold 32,000 gallons of water in its fun-sized trunk at once. Now, if you guys have seen that big, massive tree at the center of Disney's Animal Kingdom, the Tree of Life, that is a baobab tree. That one just has leaves on it. Baobabs are leafless for 9 months out of the year, just to save as much water as it can. So when they're leafless, they have the common nickname, the upside down tree, just because their branches look like their roots throughout 9 months out of the year. Alright, so this is the western savanna we're in now. There's a lot more open grasslands. Animals tend to really rely on numbers to stay pretty well protected. So hopefully while we're going through it, we can see a couple different groups tonight. Alright, looks like the first one we're going to be coming to is a group of Ankole cattle. Alright, now they're going to be on our right here in just a minute. They have these massive horns on their head. They grow to be around 3 to 4 feet in length each. As big as these horns are, they only weigh a couple of pounds. They're mostly hollow on the inside with kind of a honeycomb-like structure. And really interesting thing, they have a lot of blood vessels in these horns that they can regulate their body temperatures through. They have a second name. They're called Watusi cattle. That name comes from a group of people who were the first to domesticate them. They're one of 2 domesticated species here on this reserve. Alright, now if you look at these trees here to our right, if you look really closely at them, you're going to notice these trees out here are wrapped in chicken wire. These big ones off in the center, they're wrapped in that to help protect them from some of the animals that like to walk around and debark these trees. But because these trees are native to the state of Florida, when Disney was building them, they didn't want to uproot them and possibly have some harm done to them. So they kept them here, they wrapped them in chicken wire, they're there to help protect them, but it also makes them look a little bit more like acacia trees, which is what is more commonly going to be found out over in the African savanna. Alright, so you can see the kind of funky rock looking things out here. These are termite mounds. Now, termite mounds are made out of spit, mud, and dung. And after they've been baked into the hot African sun, they are actually turned to be as hard as concrete. Now, really cool thing, elephants actually use these termite mounds as scratching posts. That kind of rub a ball against it to point them out over time. There are some files a little bit further up we can look at. Alright, this animal in particular has some really photogenic horns. Alright, so we're going to be going slower for just a second. There was a wildebeest in the road a little bit further up. You can see one wildebeest across the savannah. It's at the top of the hill over there, if you can spot it. Hopefully they'll still be over there once we get over there. They're usually pretty much going to be out a lot of the time. They really don't let the heat and the rain bother them. Now, once we get over there, we can see quite a few of them. Wildebeest can be found in some very large groups. They are the second most densely packed mammal in a group aside from us. A wildebeest herd can reach as high as 1.5 million.
Wow.
Okay, now, their herd is a really cool name. When they're all together, they're known as a confusion of wildebeest. Alright, and also, these are those flattened termite mounds I was talking about earlier on. And elephants are going to wear them out over time by using them as scratching posts.
Those are all the animals with us. Yeah,
Alright, so we are going to be coming up to the Tower of Giraffe here in just a minute.
Ooh, we gotta see a giraffe.
Alright, so if we get to that check in front of us, they're going to be on our left. The type of giraffe out here are Maasai giraffes, the world's tallest land animals. They can stand as high as 20 feet. Giraffes are very quick though. They can reach speeds of around 30 to 35 miles per hour.
Check out that rare. That's what we call a Chevy. It's a 2000 Chevy. It's a rare form of color.
there's going to be quite a few of them out to our left. Now, a giraffe in general, they have a really big appetite. They eat for 22 hours a day. Doesn't leave them super long to sleep. They only get 30 minutes of rest on a daily basis, and they will break that time up into mini 5-minute power naps. A lot of the time, they sleep standing up, and they can do it with their eyes open. Now, you're also on the left going to find some elands right here with these twisted horns. Now, elands are definitely pretty funny. The males during mating season, when they're trying to attract a mate, they like to decorate their horns. So if you come at the right time, you can see the male walking around with a whole plant just on the top of his head. Kind of roots and everything with that. Alright, now one more cool thing about those giraffes. So another thing they do standing up is giving birth. The first thing a newborn giraffe will experience in life is around a wonderful 6-foot drop. Now that drop is just a little bit painful to some. It's a really important part of their life. After they're born and they hit the ground, that's what starts their heart. We're going just around 6 feet tall anyway, so hopefully it doesn't hurt them too much once they hit the ground. And now on the other side of these trees to our right, there was an African elephant out there. So we get a good view over here. Ah, there he is. The African elephant is the world's largest land animal. They can hit 15,000 pounds in weight.
Thanks for that.
Now that guy over there, he is the largest elephant here. He weighs in at 12,000 pounds right now.
Look, I got a picture of the turd coming out.
I just got that right here.
Look, I got a picture of the doo-doo coming out. No, don't want to still. Can you stop doing that?
Alright, now a really cool conservation project involving the African elephants is called the Elephants and the Bees Project. It started over in Kenya quite a few years ago. Farmers over there were having a lot of difficulties with the local herds of elephants running all over their crops. They couldn't really grow much and make a lot of money. So instead of poaching those elephants who control the herds, which unfortunately they often are, it's a big reason why their numbers have declined in the past, instead of doing that, it was discovered as big as an elephant is, they're actually terrified of bees. They will run away at the sight of them. You can get another pretty good view of this guy on the lower left. I'm sorry, on the right. Now, farmers found out that they were afraid of bees, and they started putting up beehives all over their property to protect the herds and the crops, but it then gives them a second form of income. They can sell the honey from those beehives. A really good example is in coexistence between us as humans and nature. It's a really popular conservation project out there. Alright, so since the elephant is just so large, they do need a lot of food to sustain that. They eat 300 pounds on a daily basis. You know, this here all around us, this is red clay. They eat this stuff almost daily. It's kind of like a multivitamin for them. You can see a lot of their tusk marks on the clay to the right. Alright, now hopefully we can see some more a little bit further up. We are right in elephant territory now. Alright, so in a herd of elephants, it's usually pretty easy to tell the males and females apart. Just look at how solitary they are. In the herd, they are led by a matriarch. She is in charge of what the herd does, where they go, and what they do. But once she's decided she's had enough of the boys, she will chase them out of the herd. Kind of in their early teens, almost as early as 10, males are going to have to go off on their own, while females will stay in their herds from birth, never leaving them. So you guys had a really good view of those ears on that elephant. Top to bottom, about 50 inches. Their ears are very powerful. On hot and sunny days, elephants will flap their ears back and forth to help cool themselves down. That method alone, they can lower their body temperatures by 15 degrees Fahrenheit. So elephants, they love to cover themselves in dirt. That stuff acts as a natural sunblock for them. They do have some really sensitive skin. It's a big reason why they are afraid of bees. They get stung and probably hurts them quite a bit. But it's also they have the super sensitive skin. They don't love to be direct sunlight a whole lot. They love the rain and they love water. Elephants are incredible swimmers. From what's been recorded, they can swim as far as 50 miles without any breaks. Now here to your left, you're going to find the flamboyance of flamingo. These are the greater flamingo, the largest type, standing at 5 feet tall. But when it comes to their species, they are the lightest shade of pink. After they're hatched, they're kind of a dark white, almost gray color. But as they get older, their pink coloration is going to come from one of the proteins in the microscopic brine chip in their diet. It takes around 2 years after they're hatched for them to start getting that nice pink color. So this right here is gonna tell us we're headed into the eastern savanna now. Over here is a lot more thick vegetation, kind of similar to Lilo-Cherry Forest. Hoping animals will be just a bit more social out. We can probably see a couple groups out tonight. But there are some more elephants on our left. Over there. Kind of a tough spot to get a really good view of. Alright, now if you guys have enjoyed seeing all these lovely animals and you would like to help them, something I will always recommend to people to maybe consider is recycling your old electronics, especially old cell phones, tablets. They have a mineral in them called coltan, which right now is very heavily mined in places all over the globe. Big hotspot for that mining is Africa. Animals do face a lot of habitat loss every year due to that. So hopefully if more people recycle those electronics, that mining process could be exponentially slowed and all of these animals can keep as much of their land as humanly possible. Alright, so walking out on our left, there's a cheetah out there, if you can see it. So way out in the back. Now the cheetah is the world's fastest land animal. They can reach speeds of 70 miles per hour in just about 3 seconds. And they're able to maintain that speed for 100 yards at a time.
That tree on the left.
Those dark spots all over their coat really help them blend in with the savanna, which is why they're excellent day hunters. Another reason they're pretty good at hunting during the day is because they have this black mask around their eyes to help shield them from direct sunlight. Now, since they are day hunters, it's why they aren't considered to be big cats. One of the qualifications for that is hunting during the night. Also, another big thing, which is why they're not, is because cheetahs don't roar. Instead, they will still purr and chirp to communicate with one another. Now we are coming up to someone who can absolutely roar. There is the male lion up there on those rocks to the left. He is absolutely a big cat. A lion's roar can be heard from as far as 6 miles away. Now that mane on his neck can weigh in at 40 pounds just by itself. And if you guys have seen the live action version of The Lion King, Simba was based off of that guy. You can see actually both lionesses are out here with him as well. The other one's laying down right on those rocks, really blends in.
Yeah, that's laying down at base your ears.
Now I'm really happy we're gonna see them out here. Lions sleep for almost 20 hours a day. They're more nocturnal, they're a bit more active around nighttime. That time of day it's a lot cooler, they don't have to expend as much energy overheating. But a lion's night vision will exceed ours by 6 full times. Now if you were to compare their eyesight to ours during the day, it's gonna be about the same. I don't think I've ever heard that happening. Alright, so here on the right is going to be the one more pretty cool animal. That is a water buck right there. One of the lesser known animals is really awesome. They love water. Once they find a good source, they really don't ever leave it. They're not migratory. They're going to tend to live in the same area their entire life. Alrighty friends, now I know we did not see this animal today, but over on our right, there is a clutch of ostrich eggs on the ground. But on the right side of the path in a pretty grassy area. Alright, now just one of those ostrich eggs is going to weigh the same weight as 2 dozen chicken eggs. They are very tough. Pretty much anyone could stand on an ostrich egg, it's still not going to crack. Alright, so we are going to head over to the Warden's Post now, which is going to be the last area of the reserve. Alright, I don't see anybody out here by the Warden's Post tonight. Looks like whoever was over here might probably headed in for the night. That gate is open now. Alright, so it looks like those water bucks are going to be the last animals we see tonight. We're gonna make our way back to the village and we are gonna conclude our tour. So I'm gonna be bringing you guys back up to the same dock I picked y'all up at, so it's gonna be a little bit of a drive back there. Gonna hang out, get comfortable. Alright, now as of right now, everything with live animals here in the park is closed, but there is still so much more to do in Animal Kingdom. If you guys haven't been over to Pandora in the Valley of Mawara yet, definitely recommend it. There are a couple rides. There is the Avatar's Flight of Passage. It's a lovely 3D attraction. You should transport your mind into the body of an avatar and ride on the back of a banshee over in the world of Pandora. But there is also a slow-moving boat ride. It's kind of similar to It's a Small World. You are going to go through the world of Pandora. It's called the Navi River Journey.
Stop. Ooh, it smells like chlorine. There is air.
No, there isn't.
Okay, how are we breathing if there isn't any air?
That's not that type of air.
What type of air do you need? You mean to blow in your nose?
Oh, I got some air for you.
No.
You mean to fart on you?
No.
Need some methane?
Oh, look. Alright, now while we're making our way back into those docks, we're gonna get a really fun backstage tour here in the safari. Our first site on this tour is gonna be here to our left. You're gonna find some backstage stairs. Crazy, I know. It's awesome, really. Backstage path here, who would have guessed? And that's our backstage tour at the safari. Hope you guys enjoyed it so much. Alright, so while we're making our way up to those docks, I would just like to say a quick thank you for coming on the safari. I hope you got to see some of your favorite animals and learn something new that you can take home and share with your family and friends. Unfortunately, almost all the animals we saw today are either out in the wild, critically endangered, facing some major habitat loss, or possibly both, and you would like to help them in any way. All of you guys do this. I know you've probably heard it about 1,000,000 times before, but let's make it 1,000,001. It's gonna be reduce, reuse, and recycle. It's one of the biggest ways we can all make a difference all over this beautiful planet.
I'm hoping the animals, Dad, fall asleep.